Listen, take a deep breath, because what you are about to hear is not just another message scrolling on your screen, it is a final warning. Archangel Michael is standing before you right now, and his voice thunders through the heavens. You are going to die soon because of what you have done. There are only 3 hours left. This is your last chance. Pause for a moment. Let these words sink in. Can you feel the shiver moving through your body? That heavy weight pressing on your chest? It is not coincidence you are here, it is not chance, it is destiny. And Archangel Michael has chosen you to hear this urgent call before it disappears forever. Many of you watching right now may be asking, why me, why now? But listen carefully, because this warning is not about punishment, it is about salvation. Michael does not come to destroy. He comes to reveal the truth hidden deep in your soul. Imagine this. The clock is ticking. 3 hours remain. The choices you make in these moments will decide your fate. Will you ignore this and scroll away, thinking it is just another video? Or will you lean in closer, knowing deep inside your spirit that heaven itself is speaking? Let me take you into the vision. The sky opened, the earth trembled, and from the radiant light, a warrior of fire descended, his sword glowing brighter than the sun. Archangel Michael stood tall, his wings stretching across the heavens, and his eyes pierced into every hidden part of the human heart. He spoke, and his voice was like a storm breaking mountains. 3 hours, that is all you have, because you carried an action that called heaven's attention. And now the choice must be made, repent or perish. Think about this. 3 hours. It is not just a measure of time, it is a spiritual countdown. And Michael is not talking about ordinary hours. He is talking about the hours of the soul. Have you ever felt like something was chasing you in life? A shadow behind your steps? A voice in your dreams? That is not your imagination. That is heaven whispering warnings you have ignored again and again. But today, there is no more delay, no more excuses. This message is your last chance before the door closes. I know this is heavy. I know it makes your heart race, your palms sweat. But listen, Archangel Michael is not here to scare you for no reason. He is here because God saw the burden in your life, the sins you carried, the mistakes you repeated and said, enough. My child needs to hear the truth now. Maybe you betrayed someone. Maybe you fell into anger, jealousy, greed. Maybe you turned away from God when He called you. And maybe you think no one saw what you did. But heaven sees everything. Yet still, God loves you enough to send Michael one last time. Do you understand the power of that? It means you are not abandoned. It means there is hope, but the window is closing. As you are listening right now, I want you to stay with me till the end, because every single word that follows is a key. If you miss one, you may miss the doorway to your salvation. Do not let distraction pull you away. Yes, pause, breathe, and let your soul stay here. This message is your protection, your shield, your guidance, and Archangel Michael has chosen this very moment to deliver it to you. Now, think about this. How many times in life did you feel like you were saved at the last second? A car accident almost happened, but you survived. An illness came, but you recovered. A betrayal broke your heart, but somehow you kept going. Do you know why? Because the angels were guarding you. Michael himself has been fighting battles for you in the unseen realm. And now, after all the protection, all the chances, he comes with a warning. This is the final hour. Do not waste it. Picture yourself standing in a dark valley. Ahead there are 2 doors, one glowing with golden light, one shadowed in fire. Michael stands in front of you, holding his sword, pointing toward the door of light. But the enemy whispers, pulling you toward the fire. This is the battle of your soul right now. This is why you are hearing these words at this exact moment. Do not ignore it. Do not treat it lightly. Your eternity may depend on this choice. The clock is still ticking. 3 hours. But with every moment that passes, you may already feel the weight of eternity pressing closer. It feels heavy, doesn't it? Like something greater than yourself is reaching for you right now. Archangel Michael's warning is not like any human warning. It cuts through illusions, through lies, through excuses. He looks directly into your soul and reveals the truth you tried to hide. Think back on your life. How many chances were given to you? How many times did you promise yourself you would change, but you didn't? How many tears did you cry in secret, wishing you could undo the mistakes? And yet, you are still here, still breathing, still being given another chance when others never got one. Do you realize how rare, how precious this moment is? Michael's words are not meant to crush you. They are meant to wake you up, to shake you from sleep, to remind you that every choice you make echoes into eternity. Imagine this moment as a courtroom of heaven. You are standing before the throne of God. The enemy is on one side, accusing you, listing every failure, every sin, every secret. But on the other side, Michael stands tall, his sword raised, saying, "There is still time, but not much. Choose wisely." 3 hours. Not just a countdown on a clock, but a countdown on your destiny. What if this message is the last one heaven gives you? What if tomorrow never comes? Would you be ready to stand in front of your Creator right now? Would your soul be at peace, or would it tremble in fear? Many of you listening feel something deep inside at this very question. It's not fear, it's recognition. Your soul knows the truth even before your mind accepts it, and that's why you cannot turn away from these words. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who ignored every warning. He thought life was endless, that death was far away. He laughed at the voice of God, mocked the whispers of the angels, and lived as if there were no consequences. But one night, in the blink of an eye, his time was over. And he stood before eternity unprepared. No more chances, no more time. He realized too late that every warning was a gift, but he treated it like noise. Do you see? This is why Archangel Michael's message is so urgent. It is not a story for someone else, it is for you. Your soul is the one being called right now. Pause here for a moment. Look around the room you are in. Notice how silent everything feels compared to these words entering your heart. This silence is not empty. It is sacred. It is the space heaven creates when it is about to touch you. 3 hours left. But what can happen in 3 hours? Everything. 3 hours can mean the difference between life and death, between salvation and destruction, between eternity in the light and eternity in darkness. Michael's voice calls out again, "My child, you think you have tomorrow, but tomorrow is not promised. You think you can delay, but delay is the greatest trap of the enemy. Today is the moment. Right now is the hour. Do not waste it." Feel the urgency. It is not pressure, it is love. Because love warns. Love does not stay silent when danger approaches. Love shouts, "Wake up before it's too late." Maybe you feel like your life is too broken. Maybe shame covers you like a heavy cloak. Maybe you think you are beyond saving. But Michael says, no, you are not too far gone. The fact that you are hearing this means heaven has not given up on you yet. Think of a candle almost burning out. Its flame is weak, its smoke rising. But with one breath of wind, it can burn bright again. That is your soul right now. Heaven is breathing life back into you, if only you let it. Now imagine standing on a battlefield. On one side, armies of light. On the other side, armies of darkness. Both are fighting over one thing, your soul. And right at the center stands Michael, his sword blazing, his eyes locked on you, shouting, "Choose now! Do not delay!" Every moment you spend listening to this message, something is happening in the unseen. Chains are breaking. Veils are lifting. The truth is being revealed to you. You can feel it in your chest, can't you? That pull, that stirring, that trembling. It is not fear, it is awakening. Let me ask you something. What if this message disappeared forever after today? What if you tried to find it again, but it was gone? Would you regret not listening fully? Would you regret ignoring it when it was right before your eyes? This is why I beg you, stay until the end. Because Michael's warning is layered with mysteries, and if you only catch half, you may miss the key that was meant for your deliverance. Do not think of this as just another video or voice. Think of it as Michael himself, standing in your room, pointing his sword, and declaring, "Your time is almost over. But if you listen, if you turn, you will live." 3 hours left, but what you do in those 3 hours will echo forever. The hours are slipping away. 2 remain. The sands in heaven's hourglass are falling, 1 grain at a time, and every grain is a reminder that your soul is moving closer to a decision it cannot escape. Archangel Michael's warning echoes again, sharp like thunder rolling across a dark sky. You cannot hide any longer. You cannot delay any longer. What you choose now will decide your eternity. Can you feel the atmosphere around you shifting? Your heart beats heavier. Your mind races. Something deep inside tells you this is not an ordinary moment. It feels as if heaven itself is leaning close, whispering into your very spirit. But the question remains, what will you do with this message? Will you dismiss it as another passing word, or will you let it pierce your heart like a sword? Let us go deeper. The human soul is not just flesh and bone. It carries memories, wounds, and secrets that even the closest people around you never knew. But heaven knows them all. The angels record every act, every thought, every choice. Nothing escapes the gaze of eternity. Think back to the last time you ignored a warning. Maybe it was small, a red light you ran, a danger you brushed aside, a voice inside you saying, "Don't do this," but you silenced it. In that moment, consequences followed, didn't they? Maybe you suffered. Maybe someone else did. Now imagine ignoring not just your inner voice, but the very voice of Archangel Michael. Can you imagine the weight of such a choice? Michael is not here to condemn you. If condemnation was God's plan, you would not even be alive to hear this. He is here because heaven believes you still have a chance. But chance is not infinite. Every delay chips away at the opportunity until nothing is left. Picture this. A man drowning in a raging sea. A lifeboat comes close, throwing him a rope. But he shakes his head, saying, "Not yet, maybe later." The waves grow higher, his strength weaker, yet he keeps refusing, thinking there will always be another rope. But the last rope comes, and he still refuses. The sea swallows him, and then only regret remains. This is how many live their lives. They believe there will always be more time. But Michael's message is clear. Time is running out. The rope is in front of you now. Will you grab it, or will you let the waves consume you? 2 hours. 2 fragile hours that decide a limitless eternity. Think about eternity for a moment. Not 10 years, not 100, not 1,000. But endless, never-ending existence. Where you spend it depends on what you choose in these fleeting moments on earth. Some of you listening may feel a fire stirring inside. Your spirit knows this is truth. It shakes you, unsettles you, but also awakens you. That is because Michael is near. His presence does not leave you comfortable. It calls you higher, demands you to rise, to let go of the chains, to step into the light. Listen carefully. The voice of Michael is fierce, but behind that fierceness is love, the kind of love that fights for you when no one else would, the kind of love that draws a sword against darkness to keep you safe, the kind of love that refuses to let you throw your eternity away without one final chance. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Picture Michael standing behind you right now, his wings stretching wide, his sword blazing with fire, his voice like a storm. He leans close and says, "Child, I have fought for you since the day you were born. I have defended you against enemies you never saw. I have stood between you and death countless times. But now I need you to listen, because time is almost gone." Doesn't that send chills through your soul? Because deep down you know it's true. How many times in your life were you seconds away from disaster, yet somehow you survived? That was not luck. That was divine intervention. And often it was Michael who swung his sword to keep you alive. But here is the truth. Even Michael cannot force you to choose the light. He can protect, he can warn, he can fight battles on your behalf, but the final choice, the eternal choice, is yours. This is the power God has given humanity, the power to choose life or death. And right now, that choice stands in front of you. The enemy whispers in your ear, "Ignore this, it's just words. You have time." But that is the oldest lie. The devil does not need to convince you there is no God. He only needs to convince you to delay. Delay until delay becomes death. Do not fall for the lie. Do not waste this moment. because once it is gone, it will never return. 2 hours and 2 final calls echo across the heavens, and Michael's sword is raised, his wings trembling with urgency, his voice louder than ever. This is your last chance. I want you to notice something. As you are listening right now, your mind may try to wander. Your phone may buzz. A distraction may arise. That is not coincidence. It is resistance. Because the enemy knows the power of this message, he will do everything possible to keep you from hearing it fully. Do not let him win. Stay here. Stay awake. Stay listening. Now imagine standing on the edge of a great chasm. On one side is light beyond imagination, joy, peace, love everlasting. On the other side is darkness, emptiness, torment, regret that never ends. You are standing at the edge, and Michael holds out his hand to pull you toward the light, but the enemy pulls at your sleeve, whispering lies. Who will you listen to? Michael says, "There are only hours left, but if you take my hand now, you will be saved." The enemy says, "Wait, you have time. Enjoy yourself. Tomorrow will be fine." Whose voice sounds more like love? Whose voice sounds more like deception? The truth is clear, but clarity does not save you unless you act on it. You must choose. You must decide. And you must do it now. Time is short. The sands are almost gone. And Michael's words are pressing closer, stronger, more urgent. This is your final warning. Do not miss it. Do not turn away. Eternity is at your door. Pause again. Breathe deeply. Let your heart absorb this. This is not fear, it is mercy. Mercy dressed as warning. Mercy holding a sword of fire. Mercy shouting through the heavens to reach your soul. 2 hours left. But if you act, if you listen, those 2 hours can become the doorway to eternity in the light. Do not waste it. Do not delay. This is the moment heaven is waiting for. The countdown has reached its most critical stage. The time is shrinking, and every second that passes feels heavier than the last. 2 hours can feel like a long stretch when you are distracted, but when eternity is hanging in front of you, 2 hours is a blink, a passing shadow, a fragile breath. Archangel Michael's words are still burning in the atmosphere. His sword of fire glows brighter, his voice sharper, his message more urgent. He is not repeating himself for nothing. Heaven does not waste words. If this message continues to echo, it is because heaven knows that someone listening has still not made the choice. Think about that carefully. If you had already surrendered your soul completely, if you had already chosen the light without hesitation, you would feel nothing but peace right now. But if you feel tension, if you feel unease, if you feel that pull between light and darkness, then this is the moment being carved out for you specifically. Heaven has circled this time on your life's calendar and said, "This is when the decision will be made." Michael does not come as a gentle whisper this time. He comes as a warrior. He comes as a final alarm, shaking the ground beneath your feet, tearing away the curtains you have been hiding behind. The lies, the excuses, the reasons you gave yourself for delay, none of them can stand in his presence. He points his blazing sword directly at your heart and says, "Now, not tomorrow, not someday, now." It is uncomfortable, isn't it? No one wants to face the reality of death. No one wants to think about the possibility that life can end in the blink of an eye. Yet that is the truth. Life is fragile. You have seen it around you. Loved ones gone without warning, friends suddenly taken, accidents no one could have predicted. And every time you saw it happen, a voice whispered inside you, "One day it will be your turn." You pushed it aside, but today Michael refuses to let you ignore it any longer. Eternity does not ask for your permission. It arrives on its own schedule. The only choice you have is whether you will be prepared when it comes. And Michael has been sent to give you one last preparation. You do not get to decide how long you will live, but you do get to decide where your soul will live forever. That is the decision pressing against you now. Imagine yourself standing in a great hall of mirrors. Each mirror shows you a different moment of your life. The times you chose kindness, the times you chose cruelty, the times you listened to the whispers of light, and the times you gave in to the pull of darkness. As you look at these reflections, you realize something. Every choice you made has been building the path to eternity. Michael does not need to invent reasons for warning you. The proof is in your own story. And yet, despite all the wrong turns, despite all the failures, despite every scar of shame you carry, Michael still offers hope. This is the miracle of mercy. Mercy says, even now you can turn. Even now you can be free. But mercy does not last forever. Mercy is an open door, but every door eventually closes. You are standing at that door right now, and Michael is urging you to walk through it before it shuts forever. Think about the word forever. Do you realize how heavy that word is? Forever is not just a long time, it is time without end. 1,000 years will pass, and forever will have only just begun. 1,000,000 years will pass, and forever will still be stretching out ahead. You cannot measure it. You cannot escape it. You cannot shorten it. And right now, your forever is being decided. 2 hours of earthly time are nothing compared to an eternity of joy or an eternity of regret. Michael's eyes see beyond your body. They see into the very fibers of your soul. He knows the chains that hold you. He knows the wounds that bleed inside you. He knows the secret sins you never confess to anyone. He knows the fears that keep you awake at night. And still he says, even now you can be free, even now you can be forgiven. Can you feel the depth of that love? A love that looks at your darkest secrets and still offers light. But there is another voice in the room too. The enemy has not stopped whispering. You don't need to change. You have time. You can do this later. That voice sounds calm, but it is poison. It is the oldest trick. Delay is the devil's sharpest weapon. He knows if you never outright reject God, but keep saying later, 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 then later will turn into never. Do not let that happen. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this picture. A courtroom, the judge sitting on the throne, the enemy standing to accuse you, bringing up every failure, every dark moment, every secret sin. His voice is full of pride as he lists your faults. And then Michael steps forward. His wings stretch, his sword points, and his voice drowns out the enemy. Yes, they have failed. Yes, they have stumbled. But they are still alive. And while they are alive, they still have a chance. The entire courtroom grows silent, waiting for one thing, your choice. This is why Michael's words cut so deep. Because you cannot stay in the middle. There is no neutral ground. You are either walking toward the light or walking toward the darkness. The clock is forcing the decision, and 2 hours will soon become 1. Ask yourself this: what is truly holding you back? Fear of surrender? Fear of losing control? Fear that you will not be able to live differently? But hear this truth. Heaven does not ask you to change by your own strength. Heaven offers the strength. Heaven offers the cleansing. Heaven offers the freedom. All you need to do is say yes. Think about the people you love. What would happen if this message was their last chance? Wouldn't you beg them to listen, to choose the light, to not throw eternity away? Then understand, that same urgency is what heaven feels for you right now. God is not distant. He is not cold. He is not waiting to crush you. He is waiting to embrace you. But you must turn. Michael raises his voice one more time, like a trumpet in the sky. Do not be fooled. Do not be deceived. Your time is almost gone. Choose life now. His wings shake. His sword burns. His words strike like fire in your bones. And you know deep down this is the truth. You cannot escape it. You cannot silence it. You can only respond. 2 hours left. The decision is pressing. Eternity is closer than ever. This message may be the last mercy you will ever hear. Do not let it slip through your fingers. Do not be the one who looks back with endless regret. Be the one who steps forward into the light, while the door of mercy is still open. Have you ever wondered why at times your life seems to be standing at a crossroads? Why suddenly everything around you feels tense, uncertain, as if the ground beneath your feet is shaking? My beloved, this is no accident. Archangel Michael has stepped forward in this very moment, holding his blazing sword of light to remind you of the urgency that surrounds your soul right now. There are powers at work, forces seen and unseen, that are testing your heart, your mind, and your very spirit. And when Archangel Michael delivers a message as severe as this one, it means the stakes are unimaginably high. He does not come to frighten you without reason. He comes because something has reached its breaking point. Listen closely. Archangel Michael is revealing that your choices, even the small ones, have been building momentum. Like drops of water filling a vessel, each action, each thought, each word spoken has filled the cup of destiny. And now, beloved, that cup is overflowing. What spills over is not just energy, it is the judgment of heaven. Pause. Feel that, because this is not a story. This is happening in real time. Michael says, "The enemy has been whispering lies into your ears, leading you down a path where shadows grow darker. But now, the hourglass of your life has almost run out. You sense it already. Haven't you felt it? The restless sleep at night, the sudden silence in your heart when you realize something is not right, the arguments, the mistakes, the regrets, all of it adding weight, pulling you closer to a dangerous end. This is why Archangel Michael declares, 'Only 3 hours remain.' My beloved, 3 hours may not be literal. It is symbolic of urgency. It means that heaven is no longer allowing delays. It means your time of pretending is over. And yet, within this warning there is mercy, because you are still breathing, you are still here. And if you are still listening, it means you still have a choice. But make no mistake, choices have consequences. Archangel Michael shows me an image, a man walking on a narrow bridge, high above a raging river. Every step feels like it could be the last. Beneath him, the waters roar, pulling, calling, ready to consume. And suddenly the man realizes that the bridge is crumbling. Pieces are falling into the river. That man, beloved, is you. And the bridge? It is your time, your opportunity, your last chance. The angels are crying out, "Don't wait. Don't ignore this voice. Don't push this message aside as just another story." Because once the bridge collapses, there is no going back. And here is the truth that shakes many. Michael is not only warning you about external dangers, he is confronting you about the inner choices you have made, the hidden sins, the broken promises, the anger you've carried, the forgiveness you refuse to give, the truth you've been running from. You see, beloved, heaven sees everything. The conversations behind closed doors, the thoughts that no one else knows, the actions you believed no one noticed. But the eyes of God are like fire. They penetrate every shadow. That is why Michael is so serious, because if heaven allowed your path to continue uncorrected, it would only lead to destruction. He is not your enemy. He is your protector. But sometimes protection comes in the form of a sharp warning. Breathe for a moment. Let this sink in. This is not a comfortable message, and it's not meant to be. Comfort will not save your soul. Truth will. Do you remember a time in your past when you ignored a small voice inside of you? Maybe it was telling you not to go somewhere, not to speak certain words, not to take a certain action, but you ignored it. And what happened? Pain, regret, loss. That was the whisper of heaven trying to stop you. And if you ignored it then, imagine the danger of ignoring Michael's thunderous cry now. He says, "This is your final warning." Not because he wants to punish you, but because he wants to rescue you. Because your destiny is far greater than the mistakes of your past. Because God's plan for your life is not destruction, it is restoration, it is healing, it is eternal life. But you must act, and you must act now. If you keep walking blindly, if you keep living as though tomorrow is guaranteed, then darkness will claim what is left of your days. You cannot keep saying, "I'll change tomorrow, I'll pray later, I'll take it seriously when I'm older." No, beloved. Tomorrow is not promised. Later may never come. That's why this message feels so heavy in your spirit. That's why your heart is beating faster, even as you hear these words. Because deep down, your soul knows it's true. This is heaven's way of pulling you back before it's too late. Now I must tell you something personal, something that may resonate with you. There are moments when people laugh at messages like this. They scroll past, thinking it's just another dramatic warning. But hours later, something happens. An accident, a breakdown, a devastating phone call, and suddenly they remember. They remember the warning they ignored, and regret burns deeper than any fire. Michael does not want you to live with that regret. That is why he is stopping you now, grabbing your shoulders with his angelic strength, looking into your soul with eyes of blazing light and declaring, "This is it, your last chance. Do not waste it." Beloved, your spirit is more valuable than you realize. Demons have fought for it. Heaven has sent armies to defend it. The blood of Christ has been poured out to redeem it. Do you really think your life is meaningless? No, it carries eternal weight. And that is why Michael is making sure you hear this message before your time runs out. So what do you do now? You open your heart. You confess where you went wrong. You cry out for mercy. You ask heaven to intervene. And you take the step of faith, even if it feels small, even if it feels weak, because heaven does not require your perfection, only your willingness. Archangel Michael whispers now, choose light, choose truth, choose life. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. But you must choose, you must respond, because ignoring this message will cost you more than you can ever imagine. Beloved, pause again. Feel the weight of this moment. Imagine if this truly was your final 3 hours. Imagine the phone call that never gets answered, the words you never say, the forgiveness you never give. Imagine the tears of those you leave behind. This is why heaven speaks now. To prevent that pain, to redirect your steps, to give you hope where there was only despair. Michael says, the door is closing. Will you walk through it, or will you let it shut forever? The choice is yours. But remember, inaction is also a choice. Silence is also an answer. Beloved, if you are still here, listening with your heart open, it means one thing: heaven has not given up on you. Think about that for a moment. Despite everything you have done, despite every mistake, every wrong turn, every sin you tried to bury, Archangel Michael is still standing here, sword of fire in hand, fighting for your soul. Do you realize how rare this is? Many people never even receive a warning. Many slip into darkness without ever hearing the truth. But you have been chosen to hear this message right now, at this exact hour, and that means there is still hope for you. Michael says, the clock is ticking, but there is still a narrow way of escape. Close your eyes for a second and imagine a giant clock in the heavens, its hands moving faster and faster, each tick echoing in the chambers of eternity. 3 hours left, not literal, but urgent. Each moment that passes is like a heartbeat you will never get back. How will you use it? The angel shows me an image, a dark corridor stretching endlessly with doors on both sides. Some doors are open, glowing with warm light, while others are sealed shut, radiating cold emptiness. You are walking down this corridor, and with every step, one door closes forever. This, beloved, is the corridor of your life. Choices already made, opportunities already missed. But there is one door still open, just one, and it is in front of you right now. Michael warns, if you walk past this final door, there will be no more openings. Let that reality sink into your bones, because what you do with this last chance will shape not just your days on earth, but your eternity. Have you noticed how the world around you has been shaking lately? How disasters, violence, and sudden losses seem to be increasing? People are leaving this world unexpectedly, without warning, without time to prepare. Every day, countless lives are cut short, and still, many live as if they are untouchable, but you know better. Something in your spirit has already been stirring, hasn't it? That uneasy feeling when you wake up at night, that whisper that tells you time is running out. That is not your imagination. That is heaven crying out to you, prepare yourself before it's too late. Michael speaks with urgency. The unseen battle is intensifying. Demonic forces are circling, waiting for the moment when your guard drops completely. But I have been commanded to intervene, to shake you awake before they strike. Do you feel that? The heaviness in your chest? The truth pressing against your soul? That's not fear. It's conviction. It's heaven trying to break through the walls you've built. And maybe you've asked yourself, why me? Why is this message targeting me? The answer is simple. Because your life matters. Because your soul carries weight in the kingdom of heaven. Because God's plan for you is greater than you can imagine. But here is the painful truth. If you continue down the path of disobedience, of ignoring these warnings, you are giving demons permission to write the final chapter of your story. And that chapter ends in destruction. Michael says, you cannot serve two masters. You cannot live with one foot in the light and one foot in the shadows. You must decide. And this decision cannot be delayed. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Let this truth confront you. Do you remember the story of the 5 foolish virgins in the scripture? They were waiting for the bridegroom, but they had no oil in their lamps. When the bridegroom came, the door was shut and they were left outside in the darkness. They cried out, but it was too late. Beloved, do not be like them. Do not wait until the final door is shut in your face. Michael's sword glows brighter now. He lifts it high and declares, the powers of darkness will not stop until they have consumed everything. But if you choose the light, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. This is not just about surviving death. This is about living with purpose, with destiny, with eternal security. But here's the part many people don't want to hear. Choosing light requires surrender. It requires letting go of pride, of bitterness, of hidden sins you cling to for comfort. It requires facing your reflection honestly and saying, yes, I was wrong. Yes, I need help. Yes, I cannot do this alone. Beloved, do not mistake surrender for weakness. Surrender to heaven is strength. It is the moment when angels rush in to lift you up, when chains are broken, when curses are shattered. Michael reveals a vision now, a person standing in the middle of a battlefield. On one side, shadows whisper lies, chains clinking in their hands. On the other side, angels blaze with fire, calling the person forward. And in the middle, paralyzed, stands the soul, unsure which way to go. That person, beloved, is you, and time is almost up. Can you hear heaven's cry? Move now before the enemy drags you away. Let me speak directly to your heart. You may think your sins are too great, that it's too late for you, that God has already turned his face away. But that is a lie from the enemy. If that were true, this message would never have reached you. You would not be listening right now. But you are, which means mercy is still available. Do not waste it. Michael says, heaven has dispatched me to fight for your soul, but I cannot force your choice. You must open the door. You must step into the light. And yes, beloved, it will cost you something. You may lose certain friends, certain habits, certain comforts. But what you gain is far greater: peace, protection, eternal life. Think of it this way. If a house is on fire, would you hesitate to leave just because you love the furniture inside? No. You would run out because life matters more than possessions. Right now, your soul is in a burning house and Michael is pulling you toward the exit. Will you follow, or will you cling to the flames? Feel the seriousness of this choice. This is why Michael repeats, final warning, last chance. Not to terrify you, but to awaken you. To stir your soul until you can no longer ignore the truth. Because if you skip this, if you walk away unmoved, heaven will not send another warning. This is it. Beloved, let your pride fall, let your defenses crumble, allow heaven to touch you. This moment is sacred. This is a divine appointment, and what you decide now will echo forever. The angel's voice grows louder. Choose life and you will live. Choose light and the shadows will flee, but delay and you will be lost. Beloved, if you are still listening, then your soul is hungrier for truth than you realize. Many would have clicked away by now, dismissing these words as superstition, as fear tactics, as just another message. But not you. You are still here, and that means heaven has gripped your spirit. Archangel Michael himself is standing guard beside you right now, and he is whispering, do not give up, keep listening. This is your lifeline. Pause for a moment and breathe. Can you feel the weight of this moment pressing against your chest? That is not coincidence. It is the presence of the divine drawing closer to you. Michael says, the enemy knows his time with you is short, and that is why the attacks have been so intense lately. That is why your mind has felt scattered, your heart restless, your relationship strained, because the enemy has been throwing everything at you, hoping you will break before you hear this truth. But, beloved, here you are, listening, absorbing, fighting through the heaviness. That alone is proof that heaven is fighting for you. Now listen carefully. There are 3 critical truths Michael wants you to hear in this hour. These truths may be uncomfortable, but they are the key to your survival. The first truth: you have been walking too close to the edge. Every time you ignored the small nudges in your spirit, every time you silenced your conscience, you stepped closer to danger. Maybe you thought it was harmless. Maybe you told yourself you could handle it, but heaven saw the trap being laid before you. Michael declares, "The edge is crumbling. If you take one more careless step, the fall will be irreversible." Imagine yourself on that edge, the ground breaking beneath your feet, the air rushing past you, the terror of realizing there is no solid ground left. That is how close your soul has been to destruction, and that is why this warning carries such urgency. The second truth: you have underestimated the cost of your silence. There were moments you should have spoken the truth but chose comfort instead. There were opportunities to forgive, but you clung to bitterness. Times when you felt heaven calling you to act, but you delayed. Each silence has been a seed, and those seeds have grown into vines that now try to choke your soul. Michael says, do not let those vines consume you. Cut them off while there is still time. The third truth: heaven has already prepared a way of escape. You are not trapped. You are not without hope. The enemy has been whispering that it's too late for you, that your mistakes have sealed your fate, that you are beyond redemption. But Michael thunders, that is a lie. The door of mercy is still open. The blood of Christ has already paid for your deliverance. All you must do is step through. Beloved, feel the hope in those words. This is not just about death, it is about life, eternal life, a chance to rewrite your story, to turn your ashes into glory, to exchange your fear for peace. But here's the part many struggle with. Stepping into that door requires courage. It means leaving behind what has been comfortable, even if it was destructive. It means choosing the unknown with faith instead of clinging to the familiar chains of sin. Ask yourself honestly, what chains have I been clinging to? What sins have I refused to let go of? Michael is not here to condemn you, he is here to free you. But freedom requires honesty. Think of a prisoner who has grown so used to the chains that he forgets they are even there. He learns to walk with them, sleep with them, even live with them. But when the cell door opens, he must decide, will he leave the chains behind and walk out, or will he remain in bondage because it feels familiar? Beloved, the cell door of your soul has been flung wide open, but you must walk out. Heaven cannot drag you. Michael cannot force you. The choice is in your hands. Now hear this clearly. Michael says, if you walk away from this message, you are choosing the chains. You are choosing destruction. But if you respond now, heaven will rush in with power you cannot imagine. Let me make this practical for you. Think of the last time you felt truly close to God. Do you remember it? That warmth, that peace, that sense that heaven was near. That was not an accident. That was a glimpse of what your life could be every single day if you chose the light. But the further you've drifted, the dimmer that feeling has become. This message is heaven's way of reigniting that flame before it goes out completely. Beloved, your soul is at stake. Your future is hanging in the balance. And the clock is ticking. Michael shows me another vision. A great hall filled with books. Each book represents a life. Angels are writing, turning pages quickly, recording every action, every decision. And in front of you lies your own book. The final pages are being written right now. The ink is wet. The lines are not yet sealed. Which ending will be recorded? That is what you decide in this moment. Let that vision sit with you. This is why heaven sent this message to you. This is why Michael is sounding the alarm, because your book is not finished yet, and what happens in these final chapters is entirely up to you. Michael cries out, do not waste these last moments. Do not gamble with eternity. This is your final warning. And let me remind you again, This is not about scaring you. Fear may stir you for a moment, but truth will transform you forever. The truth is this: you are loved more than you can ever imagine. That is why heaven refuses to let you go without a fight. That is why Michael stands here, sword blazing, shielding you from the darkness that wants to claim you. That is why this message has reached you at the exact hour you needed it. Beloved, this is your chance. This is your moment. Don't harden your heart. Don't push this away. Every second counts. Michael whispers now, softer than before. Come back. Come back before it's too late. Beloved, by now you understand that this is no ordinary message. The words you are hearing are not random. They are divine. They are urgent. They are meant for you and only you. Archangel Michael has been repeating again and again, final warning, last chance. And if heaven has to repeat itself, it means the matter is far too serious to be ignored. Think about your life for a moment. Think about the road that has brought you here. How many times did you nearly lose everything, yet somehow you were spared? How many close calls? How many accidents? How many nights you thought you wouldn't survive? But you did. That was not luck. That was mercy. That was Michael fighting battles you didn't even see. But mercy is not endless. Grace is not something to be trampled on. The warnings you ignored in the past were written down in heaven's record, and yet God gave you another chance. And another and another. But now the voice of Michael grows sharper. He says, "The time for ignoring is over. The hour of decision has come." You might be wondering, why now? Why this urgency? Because darkness has been gathering strength around you. Attacks have been increasing, haven't they? The heaviness in your spirit, the confusion in your mind, the sudden conflicts in your relationships. These are not coincidences. They are signs that the enemy is making his final move, and that is why heaven is making its final call. Michael reveals a vision, a battlefield covered in smoke. On one side, demons advance with chains and weapons. On the other, angels stand in blazing armor, ready to fight. And in the middle stands a single soul, yours, frozen in fear, uncertain which side to choose. That soul cannot stand still forever. The ground itself begins to shake, forcing a decision. This is the urgency of heaven's cry. You cannot remain neutral. You cannot wait. The battle is moving whether you are ready or not. Beloved, the truth is hard, but it must be spoken. Every delay, every excuse, every compromise has been pushing you closer to destruction. The enemy doesn't need you to reject heaven outright. He only needs you to keep delaying. Delay is the devil's most effective weapon, because as long as you delay, you believe there's still time. But Michael thunders, there is no more time left. The clock has reached its final hours. Ask yourself, if your life ended tonight, where would your soul awaken? Are you certain? Do you have peace about your answer? Or does fear grip your heart even now? That fear is a sign. It is heaven telling you, you are not ready. And Michael does not want you to meet eternity unprepared. Heaven is pulling at your heart. Do you feel it? That pressure, that stirring, that unshakable knowing that this is for you, not for someone else, for you. Because your story is reaching its turning point. The pages are being written even now, and soon the book will close. But here is the miracle. Though judgment looms, mercy still stands. Though darkness surrounds, light still shines. Though your time feels short, heaven whispers that even in the last hour, transformation is possible. Michael says, if you turn now, heaven will cover you with protection. If you cry out now, your cry will shatter the chains. If you humble yourself now, the door will swing wide before it shuts forever. But you must act. You must decide. You must not wait another moment. Beloved, let this truth break you if it must. Let it pierce through the walls you've built, because the walls will not protect you in the end. They will only isolate you from the very help you need. Think of a city surrounded by enemies. If the gates remain closed to reinforcements, the city will fall. Your heart is that city, and heaven is calling you to open the gates before the enemy breaks through. You may feel unworthy. You may think your sins are too many, your past too dark, your mistakes too great. But Michael says, "The blood of Christ is stronger than every chain, every curse, every failure. Do not let shame keep you from salvation." Beloved, shame is the weapon of darkness. Mercy is the weapon of heaven. Choose mercy, choose life. And do not think for a moment that you have more time than you do. The enemy whispers, "Tomorrow, next week, when you're ready." But that tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow is the trap that has led countless souls into destruction. Heaven does not say tomorrow. Heaven says now. Michael's sword flashes brighter in this moment. His voice shakes the atmosphere. This is your moment. This is your last chance. Do not waste it. Beloved, your destiny is hanging by a thread, but heaven is holding out its hand. Will you take it, or will you let it slip away? Remember the thief on the cross beside Jesus. In his final hour, he cried out for mercy, and mercy was given. That is proof. It is never too late. But he had to ask. He had to reach out in faith. And so must you. This message is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you, to jolt you out of the sleep of indifference, to remind you that eternity is not far away. It is one breath away, one heartbeat away, and you do not control the number of your breaths or the beating of your heart. Heaven does. That is why Michael is fighting so fiercely for you right now, because he knows what is at stake, because he has seen too many souls slip away in silence, because he refuses to let you go without one final cry of warning. Beloved, take this seriously. Do not treat it as entertainment. Do not brush it aside as exaggeration. Heaven does not exaggerate. Michael does not waste words. When he says this is your last chance, believe him. Your spirit already knows this is true. That's why you feel what you feel right now. That heaviness, that urgency, that trembling in your heart. It is your soul recognizing the truth. Do not ignore it. Heaven is watching. Angels are listening. The book of your life is open, and the final pages are waiting to be written. What will those pages say? Michael whispers again, softer now but filled with fire. Choose wisely, for this is your final warning. The air around you is heavy right now, and you can almost feel a presence watching over your every move. It's not just your imagination, and it's not a coincidence that you are still here listening. This very moment is part of the divine design, carefully arranged so you can hear what Archangel Michael wants you to know before time runs out. There is a countdown happening, and though you cannot see the numbers ticking down, your soul feels the pressure, the urgency, the weight of something monumental pressing closer. Michael says that the energy of your past actions has created a ripple in the spiritual dimension, and this ripple is no longer just a soft wave. It has turned into a force that is returning to you, demanding acknowledgement, demanding balance. Some choices you made knowingly, others you slipped into without realizing the consequences. But heaven keeps record of all things. Every word you spoke, every thought you entertained, every action you took, they are alive in the divine memory. And now, in this moment, they are calling for resolution. But hear this. Michael is not here to condemn you. He is here to awaken you. The warning may sound frightening, but it is also drenched in mercy. If God had decided to cut your time short without a chance to turn back, you wouldn't even be hearing this message. The fact that you are still breathing, still aware, still able to choose means heaven is extending a final lifeline. Will you take it, or will you dismiss it? That is the question, hanging in the balance of your destiny. Imagine for a moment standing at the edge of a cliff. Below you, darkness stretches infinitely, swallowing everything that falls into it. Behind you, there is light, warmth, safety. But you are standing in between, your feet right on the line. One step forward, and you will lose yourself forever. One step back, and you will be wrapped in the embrace of divine mercy. This is the reality of your soul right now. The 3-hour warning is not just about physical danger. It is about your spiritual position. Michael's sword of light is drawn. It is not drawn to strike you down, but to cut through the illusions clouding your mind. The illusions that tell you there is still plenty of time, that nothing bad will happen, that maybe this message is just coincidence, Those illusions are lies whispered by the enemy of your soul, and if you let them, they will numb you until the final moment comes and you are unprepared. But Michael is here to strip those lies away and expose the truth. You cannot escape the consequences of your choices, but you can choose redemption before it is too late. Think back to the times when your spirit warned you, when your heart whispered that what you were doing was wrong, when you felt the pang of conscience but pushed it aside. Those were not just random feelings, they were divine signals. And each time you ignored them, the chain around your soul grew tighter. Now Michael says the chain has reached its final knot. Unless you let heaven cut it loose, it will drag you down into darkness. This is why you feel uneasy. This is why something in your chest feels heavy, almost suffocating. You sense that what you are hearing is more than words. It is the echo of eternity knocking at your door, and deep down, you know you cannot ignore it much longer. But here lies the mystery. You still have a choice. You are still being given a chance, even in these final hours. Michael says if you surrender your pride, if you admit where you have gone wrong, if you humble yourself before God, the sentence hovering over you can be lifted. The storm can pass. The shadow can be broken. But if you harden your heart and pretend none of this matters, the storm will not wait. It will consume you. Take a moment to notice your breath. Each inhale, each exhale is a gift. You did nothing to earn it, yet it flows freely. That is how mercy works. You don't deserve it, yet it reaches for you anyway. This warning is the same. You may feel like it's too harsh, too frightening, but that is because truth often cuts deep. A surgeon's blade hurts, but it saves the life. Michael's warning is sharp, but it can save your soul if you let it. And here's what you need to understand. When angels deliver a message, it is never casual. It is divine intervention, heaven breaking through the noise of this world to reach you. You were not scrolling randomly. You were not here by accident. Something in your life has aligned at this exact time for you to receive this. And if you dismiss it, you are dismissing heaven itself. But if you lean in, if you allow the words to enter your spirit, something powerful will happen. The darkness hovering over you will lose its grip. The fear of death that has been tightening around your thoughts will begin to fade,